get to it in the chase for an SIAC championship appearance at the end of the season.
This is what every team in college football strives to play for, an opportunity to play in a conference championship game. Today's conference opener is step one for Central State and Savannah State to achieve that goal.
All right, both teams come in winless. Central State 0-2. They lost to Moorhead State in game number 1, and then they lost against Grand Valley Division II program. For Savannah, they took a 42-10 loss at the hands of SWAC's Southern University. And Todd, I know we talked to both coaches, and they stressed how important it was to get off with a win to begin the season.
For Central State winning their last 4 SIAC games this season ago, Coach Porter said it's time to lean on those results. For Savannah State, their last win was 363 days ago, right here versus Clark Atlanta. Coach Kelton said we need to win, period.
All right. When we return, we'll set the lineups and have the opening kick. You are watching SIAC football on ESPN+. And Todd, as both teams take the field, beautiful, I mean beautiful evening for football. Slight breeze outside, temperature around 80 degrees, and we've already had our coin toss.
The officials for today's contest, the referee Andrew Singleton, the umpire Josh Jackson, the center judge is James Crowell, the line judge is Rodney Bowles, the field judge is Maynard Williams, the head line judge is Carlton Kelly, the side judge is Kenneth Strong, and the back judge is Stephen Bailey.
All right, before we get underway, Todd, let's take a look at some of our keys for tonight's game. We're going to highlight a couple of players. And we could take a look at Central State, quarterback Kendall Boney, as well as Mike White.
And also for Central State, Sam Young, CSU's best offensive lineman. He's a road grader. And, of course, you mentioned Mike White. He had 5 sacks versus Savannah State a season ago.
On the other side, their impact players, truly special, in quarterback Jadon Adams and defensive linebacker Darian Bell.
Jaden Adams, a dual threat, had an 81-yard touchdown run versus Savannah last week. Darian Bell, a nose for the football, had 9 tackles and a sack versus Southern.
Both these coaches that come in today, Kevin Porter for Central State, Aaron Kelton for Savannah State. All right, we're about ready to get it going here. Lexington Matthews will kick it off, and we are underway from Theodore A. Wright Stadium. Here comes Central State on the return, and driven out of bounds. They're going to mark it at the 37-yard line. So excellent return there by Jaden Bossy, the 5'10 freshman from Chicago, Illinois, who first went to Jackson State. Excellent return on that. 33 yards on that return. So Central State will start their drive 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Let's take a look at some of those starters. For Central State, quarterback Kendall Boney, 13 for 40 for 125 yards coming into this one, including 1 rushing touchdown. First handoff in the game goes to Zay Price, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. Clogging the middle inside there, a host of Savannah State Tigers.
Good job there for Savannah State. Kenyon Smith in on the tackle. Had no room to run there for the Marauders.
And they're going to say a loss of 1 on that carry, so it brings up 2nd down and 11. Price will try once again, and he's going to be dragged down from behind. Excellent pursuit by Gary Davis Jr., the linebacker out of Cairo, Georgia.
Nice play by Davis there to throw off his blocker and get the runner there, Zay Price, and now it's 3rd and long for Central State, just exactly what Savannah State wants defensively, to put them in 3rd and long.
We talked about Zay Price being in that backfield, the receivers, Brandon Brock, Kyler Thompson. See Terrell Heath out there as well. 4 wide receivers set, trips to the lower side of your screen. Boney in the pocket. He's going to run. Boney, 40, 45. He's going to be dragged down from behind. Gary Davis Jr., excellent pursuit. But this one is going to be close. No, it's not going to be close. It's going to be a gain of 10 yards. Good enough for a first down.
Dwayne, that looked like a design draw. Boney went back, set his feet, looked upfield, and took off immediately. And it was good for a Central State first down. Boney is a dual threat quarterback. We mentioned in the pregame he can run it and throw it.
So a fresh set of downs here. You talk about Mr. Boney. Carry to Price coming this way. Near side, there's going to be a flag down as he's going to be tripped up by Alik Booker. But we've got a penalty on the play. We'll find out from our referee, Troy Singleton. He will be our whitecap today. So, Troy Singleton, our whitecap, says it's going to be a holding against the offense, so we'll move him back 10 yards. And Central State will try again. You can also take a look at that Savannah State Tigers defense. Wesley Bentley got the start along with Tony Roundtree, defensive ends William Jones and Xavier Exkillen. The linebacking crew, Tavari Brute, Gary Davis, and Darian Bell. The secondary, Creary, Norwood, Bryant, and Booker. There's a short pass to Heath near side of the football field, and he's going to get up past the 40-yard line to about the 41. So he's going to get back 4 of those yards. So it brings up 2nd and long. We'll call it 16 from the 36-yard line. 12 minutes and 19 seconds to play. First quarter, no score. Central State visiting Savannah State. Boney will roll off to his right. He will keep the football. He is going 45, 40, and down to the 30-yard line. Call it the 33.
Great recognition by Kendall Boney. He rolled out to the far side of the field. He said he had nothing. He turned around, reversed his field, saw a nice running lane, and took it all the way down to the Savannah State 33 for another first down. Good-looking drive for Central State, except for the penalty.
30-yard run. First out and 10 at the Savannah State 33-yard line. So Central State threatening. They're going to hand to the first guy through. And with that football, Javaris Leach out of Rockford, Illinois, is a redshirt freshman.
Good strong run by Leach. Gain of there of 4. 2nd and 6. That's what you want if you're Central State. Get positive yardage on first down. Coach said they wanted to play Marty ball, run the ball, and stop the run today. And Central State off to a good start so far.
Gain of 4 on that first play, on that first down. 2nd down and 6. Play action. They throw it into the flats. Receiving that football is Dunford. And Dunford gets up to the, we're going to mark that. They mark it at the 28-yard line. So once again, moving the football. Central State, Booker on that last grasp for Savannah State. 3rd down, 4. Boney waiting in the shotgun. Twin receivers to the near side of the football field. Standing alongside him is Leach to his left. Boney waiting. There's the snap. He looks. He fires. It's complete. Excellent reception by Kyler Thompson, the big tight end out of Oak Park, Michigan.
Good play from Boney to Thompson. Good for a first down. Good read. Good-looking drive for Central State so far, mixing it up with the run and the pass. And they're controlling the clock. That's what Coach Porter wanted to do, is control the clock, long drives on offense to keep their defense off the field.
6-yard pass play, first catch of the season by Thompson. They got a hand. There's Leach trying the right side. He's going to scamper wide. It'll blow over a man, spinning and twirling down to the 9-yard line.
Big hole on the right side of that offensive line, but a good, strong run by Leach. He ran over a defender, and it's good for a first down.
Do I see some laundry at the far side of the field? Looks like we have an injured player on the field. So there was a penalty on that play, so they're going to be moved back.
A holding penalty there on Central State, and that ruined a good run there. And now it'll put the Marauders back further than they want to be.
Don't want to speculate, but I believe that is Kirk Smith is the injured player, as we see trainer Jennifer Kensby, the Savannah State Tigers head trainer. She's checking things out. I don't know if it came on a hit or what.
Dwayne, when I mentioned earlier about, playing Marty ball for Coach Porter, Coach Porter played for the legendary coach Marty Schottenheimer in Kansas City in the National Football League, and that's where he gets his philosophy of running the ball and stopping the run, being strong on the offensive line and defensive line. And once again, a fine start for Central State. They've had the football since the opening kick.
Well, listen, we talked about last time out how they suffered a 58-0 loss to Grand Valley State, who were the defending GLIAC champs. That's nothing to slouch about. They're an excellent program. And they opened the season with a 17-10 setback to Morehead State, a Division I opponent, in a game, Todd, they actually had a chance to tie down at the end.
They sure did, and, it was just short. And then, of course, playing the powerhouse Grand Valley State last week. Grand Valley State ranked 4th in the country. That's a tough road trip for Central State. Tough non-conference schedule. A lot of teams in the SIAC, they play very tough non-conference schedules to get them ready for the conference season.
All right, there's a break in the action as we tend to our injured player. There's no score. 9 minutes, 34 seconds to play. First quarter, Savannah State nothing, Central State nothing. We'll be right back. assisted off of the field. And, Todd, safety is always a big concern when you're playing football. It's a violent sport. And we just pray that the young man is okay.
Our thoughts and prayers are with this young man from Savannah State. And, this is a very violent game, football. It's violent at every level, and there's always a chance of someone getting hurt as you hear the crowd give the Savannah State player a standing ovation. We can't tell who it is on the ground, but our thoughts and prayers are with that player and his family and friends and the entire Savannah State community. And every time you step on that field, there is a risk of injury, and every player that participates, whatever level you're participating in, realizes that. And as they're going to take the player off here on the stretcher, you just don't want to see it. It's just the last thing you want to see on the field. You remember the Buffalo-Miami game on Thursday Night Football when Damar Hamlin, of all people, for the Bills, laid a hit on Tua, and Tua ended up suffering a concussion. As you all know, Damar Hamlin a few years ago had a heart episode right on the field in Cincinnati. So no matter what level you're playing at, an injury can happen from pee-wee football all the way to the pros, and we just got to hope and pray this Savannah State player who's being helped into the stretcher is okay. Unfortunately, it's a risk every time you put on the uniform.
And Todd, I know earlier this week we had a chance to talk to both coaches about how important it was to get off to the season on the right foot with a win. But when you have situations like this that transform on the field, kind of makes winning secondary, to be honest with you, because it's all about the safety of these young men at the end of the day. You'll take a loss every single time to spare a young man from getting hurt on the athletic field.
No, there's no question right now. It's definitely secondary, and you wonder how each player is able to compartmentalize once the game starts back on, to forget about his teammate, and also the other side for Central State, your opponent, because, we all have sympathy and passion for the injured player, and, that's a really hard thing to do as a coach, as coaches and players, to be able to forget about it and knowing that you've got a game on the field.
I talked to the trainer for Savannah State before the game, trainer Jennifer Kingsby, and I asked her, ironically enough, about injuries, and she informed me. She said, no, we're relatively healthy right now. I asked her about an injury last week to Gary Davis Jr. was a little bit nicked up, as well as a few other players. Uchenna Noah had an injury. I know Darian Bell was knocked out for a few, but they all returned back to the lineup. And her biggest thing, she was saying the guys have to make sure that they are hydrated. So a bit of good news here, Todd. As the player was being loaded into the ambulance at about the 15-yard line, I did see a thumbs up from the player that was laying in the stretcher. So I'm going to refrain identifying who the player was until I can get confirmation. I don't want to just
we can't tell
anyone.
who it is. Speaking of thumbs up, I remember years ago the Detroit Lions had a player named Mike Utley who he was laying in the stretcher, and he did a thumbs up to the crowd. And hopefully this will be much better news than what Mike Utley had. Mike Utley ended up being paralyzed, and he couldn't play football anymore. So what we're hoping for here is a thumbs up that's good news, and everything will be okay. But it is tough once you see that player being driven away by the ambulance. It's time for these kids to play football, and that is just a real hard thing to do. But it's something that, unfortunately, each team is going to have to do, along with the coaches, is to keep these kids mentally in the game.
Yeah, definitely a difficult task. but I'm sure both teams will adjust and move forward. Just a little reset. No score here between Savannah State and Central State University. 9:34 to play in the first quarter of play. Central State, they've owned the possessions so far. They've held the football for the first 6 minutes of the game, and with a nice balanced attack, Todd, of running and passing the football. So they've been quite efficiently. Boney, I talked to him before the game, Todd, and I said to him, man, you must take pride in taking care of the football, because this kid really doesn't turn the football over too often.
No, he does not. Central State's the only team in the SIAC through 2 games that doesn't have a turnover. So... And Boney's doing well not only with his arm but with his feet, and also the recognition of the defense when to throw the ball and when to pull up and run to stay out of danger. Now, the only negative so far for Central State offensively is this is the second penalty on the drive, and it is a holding penalty, and the ball's going to be brought back out to the Savannah State 32-yard line. So it's going to be first and long for Central State.
Todd, Central State, they've had almost as many penalties as they had in the game last year when these two teams played. Last year against Savannah State, Central State, they only committed 4 penalties the entire game. They've gotten 3 already in this first series.
And turnovers hurt Savannah State a year ago. That's why Central State was able to win the football game. Got a long way to go here, and turnovers are always a factor in every football game, whatever level you're playing at, high school, college, or the professional level. When you look at the box score, usually the team that has turned the ball over the most will lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also comes down to special teams play.
Sure.
And we have a couple of good ones in this afternoon's ball game. Can't wait to highlight them both. Jose Charez for the Central State Marauders program. He was the Week 4 and Week 7 Special Teams Player of the Week last year, and he was also the Week 1 Special Teams Player of the Week this year. So he's getting it done. Had an opportunity to talk to him before the game, and Todd, he talked about how he attended a kicking camp during the summer that was headed by the former Georgia kicker. You know who I'm talking about, Rodrigo Blankenship. And it was held in Orlando, Florida, I believe. It's either Birmingham or Orlando, one of those 2 cities. But it's nice to see these young men working on their craft.
Jose Charez is a special kicker. He's been with Central State for a while now. He's from Atlanta. Went to Hillgrove High School. So has had a very successful career here at Central State. And this game could come right down to special teams today.
Absolutely could. And then on the other side, Lexington Matthews, he's new to the program, and all he has done is averaging 40 yards per punt. He had a 60-yard punt in last week's game, which, by the way, is the longest punt of his career. In fact, in that loss last week to Southern University, he had 5 punts over 50 yards.
That's what you call a field position flipper. There is one thing that Savannah State wants to improve on today, and that is the return game when they get the opportunity. Savannah State. That's what the one thing they want to improve on today is the return game when they get a chance.
So as we wait for the ambulance to exit the field, both teams will now take it to their sidelines and sort of stretch out to keep limber here. Important not to let your bones stiffen up while waiting for game action to resume. 9 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Cotter. So glad you could be with us. And, man, what can you say here, Todd? Week 2 of the season, because you have week 0 and week 1. Some teams played in week 0, most did not. What kind of advantage do you think that gives a team to play in August?
It's a huge advantage. If somebody played the week before and you're playing a team that never did play, that didn't play a game, then that's a huge advantage to me. I don't understand the week 0 concept in college football. I don't understand why you're going to – I understand why the games are on television and you're trying to market your product and more money for the TV networks and et cetera, and I completely understand that. But I think these teams should all start at the same time so they all have an even playing field, because someone who played the week before has, to me, a great advantage for someone who did not play. You can only sit here and practice for so long, but to get on the field and play a game, it's a big difference. You see each team here warming up, trying to stay loose.
Well, there are some benefits to having a week 0, especially for SIAC reasoning. I know
Sure.
Commissioner Anthony Holloman, I know he was ecstatic about some of the adjustments that were made. So you saw, for example, in last week where a CIAA team in Shaw played against Albany State. And, at the end of the day, come season's end, we want our teams to be able to vie for a championship, right? Whether it be at the SIAC level, the Division II level. And so the league, the SIAC, is doing everything they can to not penalize the league for having those Division II aspirations, title aspirations.
And the SIC is doing a really good job getting their games on the NFL Network. Central State a year ago was on the NFL Network, and they got a win. And back to Central State, if we can focus on them, we mentioned in the pregame they won their last 4 conference games of the year. So Coach Porter really wanted to, hone in on that and get off to a great start here, and so far they have today. And then, of course, Savannah State, we mentioned earlier, they just need a win. They haven't won in 363 days. And to me, a key for Savannah State is time of possession. Their defense was left on the field almost 40 minutes last week against Southern. And also a key for Savannah State is getting off the field on third down. Central State's already converted on third down twice today. And Savannah State also would like balance on offense, get an effective short passing game, and get Adams going, not only throwing it, but running it, because he is a dual threat. And they would like to be able to convert downs to keep their defense off the field and convert on third down offensively. They only had 1 first down last week.
Okay, looks like play is about to resume after the penalty. It's going to be first down and 20 for CSU, Central State University, at the Savannah State 32-yard line. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Quarter. I hope you're enjoying the game so far. It should be a doozy as we proceed. 3 wide receivers set as they run that pro-style offense for Kevin Porter. He found the near side of the football field as one wide out, as well as Cameron Watkins, the graduate student from Albany, Georgia. Brandon Brock, the far side receiver. In motion is Leach. Leach is going to get the football, 35, and he's going to be gang tackled right where he stands, and there's going to be a penalty flag thrown in as Elijah Norwood was in on that tackle, as well as William Jones. But there might have been some extracurricular activity, and we'll find out what our referee, Antroy Singleton, has to say. He's the white cap. So, Todd, there it is. 4 penalties so far in this first half. That equals the penalty output they had in last year's game when they only had 4 in the entire contest.
Central State starting to kick itself in the foot here, doing a lot of damage with penalties. Really good pursuit there by Savannah State defensively on the screen pass. And, of course, obviously it went for naught because they're going to back them up and take the penalty. And now you got to go all the way down to the 12-yard line for a first down. Tough sledding here for the Marauders.
4 wide receivers set. Boney waiting in the shotgun. He'll receive the snap. Will throw near side to Heath. Heath turns one way, then jukes the other. But Elijah Norwood is equal to the task as he is dropped at the 36-yard line. However, that play was whistled down. Down. That's the call on the field. As Carlton Kelly, our linesman, positioned at the 35-yard line, he immediately pointed his hands down, saying that the football was down.
Good open field tackle there by Elijah Norwood, the graduate from Valdosta, went to Valdosta High School.
4 yards on that loss, Todd. So it brings forth 2nd and 24. Boney will roll to the right side. Under pursuit, almost tackled by Bentley, but he gets away, but not from Gary Davis Jr. Wow. Bentley chased him, but Boney looked more like a Honda trying to get away from him. but unfortunately, he only got a yard out of the situation.
Good pursuit defensively by Savannah State. You mentioned it, Davis Jr. on the tackle from Cairo High School in Cairo, Georgia. And now it's 3rd and long. Got to get to the 12 for a first down for the Marauders.
Boney waiting, gets the snap. He peers. Now he rolls. Now he cocks. Now he fires, and it's complete. What a grab there by Cameron Hopkins, the grad. And there's another flag down as he catches the football at the 23-yard line. But let's hold the phone. Maybe a penalty on this play after the 11-yard catch. And we'll wait for the call. Let's see here from Troy Singleton. All right, so they're going to move that football. So it's an automatic first down.
And what a shame for Savannah State defensively. They commit a holding penalty. It's an automatic first down for Central State. They had done such a good job of taking advantage of Central State's miscues on penalties to back them up and actually held them there, and it would have been a long field goal attempt for Chairs. Instead, the Marauders get a first down.
All right, 3 wide receivers set now on this fresh set of downs for the Central State Marauders. 7 minutes and 25 seconds. It's been all Central State so far in this first quarter of play. Savannah State has not gotten the ball on offense. Really a masterful, well, almost masterful, aside from the 4 penalties they had, the 4 holding penalties. Other than that, they're doing a great job. Cadet just checks in. He's the slot receiver. Heath Jr. at the bottom. At the top is Brandon Brock, the club's leading wide receiver. He caught 4 passes in last year's contest. The H-back, in there is Dunford. Here's the carry. Leach dukes a man. Now to the 15, 10. He could go. 5, and he is pushed out of bounds. Touchdown saving tackle by Keon Bryant, the junior out of Fayetteville, Georgia.
That's going to be holding on Tyrell Heath for Central State. He held that jersey way too long. It was right in front of the official, and he made the penalty, and that's going to back up the Marauders, and he was caught for sure. Boy, just you got to let him go. I mean, that was a really good run there for Central State. Nice run by Leach. And it'll go for not a 5th penalty on this drive from the Marauders. They're kicking themselves in the foot with all these mistakes.
So Terrell Heath Jr., we had a couple of catches.
You can see the hold there. No question about it. It was obvious.
And really in that situation, Todd, you don't have to hold. You can kind of screen your guy out without actually holding.
He didn't have to do anything. He had the corner.
Nonetheless, they'll move him back. First down. Sweeping to the right side is Bossy. Bossy chased out of bounds. Not before getting credited. They spotted that. It looks like the 18-yard line. So we'll give him 6 yards on that carry.
Good job by Bossy to get outside. Good job on the right side of that offensive line from the Marauders. They're winning the battle up front in the early going.
Correction, they moved that football back a couple of yards. It has been placed on the 32. Now they're going to move it back to the 22. They went from the 18 to the 21 to the 22.
I still think it was a good job by the back to bounce outside. The offensive line did a good job, but it was good pursuit by Savannah State.
Second down now. Boney waiting with Leach off to his left. carrying that football. Correction is Bossy, and Bossy's going to be dropped. Dropped at the 24-yard line. Hot pursuit, Tavare Bruton. He's out of Savannah, Georgia.
Good pursuit, correct by Savannah State. It puts Central State in 3rd and long. That's not where the Marauders want to be. They can throw the football, but their strength is running it. And now 3rd and long. Let's see if Savannah State, with that good front four they have, pin their ears back and come after Boney. But Boney's elusive, so you've got to be able to stay in your lane as a rusher and don't give him a running lane, because he will pull it down and take off. You've already seen it earlier in this game.
3rd down, 8. They've got to get to the 14-yard line. McCreary had to check out of the game. Their best defender, DeAndre Creary, because his helmet came off last play. Let's see if they try to exploit it and go with the pass. Yes, it's an option pass. Bossy looking for Brock. Touchdown! It's complete. 23-yard touchdown pass, and they took advantage of the new corner that was in, Drayshawn Dawkins. I told you DeAndre Creary had to leave the football field because his helmet came off. And what does Central State do?
Well-designed play right there to Brandon Brock, the veteran. Nice catch and a good throw. A good pitch and catch there from Reese to Brock, and 6-0.
There's the snap, the hole, and the kick is through the uprights.
Boy, I tell you what, got the corner to bite as soon as it was a great job by the running back to run like he was going to run it, and he stopped it and popped, and it pulled the defense in, and he was able to throw it over the defensive back for a touchdown to Brock. Really good play there by Reese.
Well, there's a timeout on the field with our score. Central State 7, Savannah State nothing. Let's take time out. We'll be right back.
Hey, Don, what made you become a Cricket Campus ambassador?
Do tell.
I live to network. HBCU's all about that. The keyword being network.
Oh, like a certain network that has speedy 5G?
I see you could take a hint.
I can drop a hint too, Don.
In communities where leaders are forged and legacies are born, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference proudly celebrates the accomplishments of current and former students. From the playing field to the boardroom, they are the next generation of entrepreneurs, doctors, and executives.
Leaders rise here. Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Central State University is home.
Is empowering.
Is family.
Is legacy.
Central State University is athletics.
It's high time, so I'm rising, it's my time. You tried fighting, your mind need a lifeline. Looking like you seen a ghost in the sci-fi. See him trying to get it close so they might shine. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that.
And welcome back. 7-0 our score. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Coder. Central State scoring on a 23-yard touchdown pass. Bossy to Brock. And Todd, that was a 10-plus minute drive by Central State to begin the game. How about it?
How about it is right, and it was a great job by Bossy to look like he was going to run the football, stop, pop it, and throw it over the defenders for a touchdown.
Brown will take the football from the 10-yard line up to the 20, 25, 30. Jukes a man, but not before being tripped up by Khalil Foy, the freshman out of Mercersburg Academy. Excellent return, though. Yeah, great tackle and great return.
Nice open field tackle. Well, let's see what Savannah State can do with the football. I'm really anxious to see.
20 yards on that return. So now we'll get our first look at the Savannah State offense led by quarterback Jadon Adams, who scored a team record 81-yard rushing touchdown last week. The running back, Shamarcus Poole, who'll get the bulk of the carries. The wide receiver core, Deshaun Mitchell, Damarian Colbert, and Randy Scott. First play is a give, and Poole is going to be drowned, I guess you could say, by...
Guess who did it?
Give me one guess.
White. Right, Mike White, who should be an SIAC all first or second team, and he's not.
No, he should have been a first-teamer.
He's just a great player. We mentioned it, 5 sacks against Savannah State a year ago. What does he do on the first game? First play of the game, he stops Poole on a 1-yard loss.
Listen, tackle for loss. He had 6 tackles for loss in this game last year, including 5 sacks. I asked him what was he going to do today. He said better than last year. Adams on the quarterback keeper. Gets ahead to the 31-yard line, but he's going to be smacked front and center right there. The first person that hit him was Jaleel Lenore, the senior out of Chicago, Illinois.
Jaleel Lenore, big plays for this linebacker, who's an outstanding player. And a good pursuit there, and now it puts Savannah State in 3rd and long, which is where they do not want to be. And I'm anxious to see how Adams, a dual threat, will run and throw it.
The Central State Marauders defense, their 4-2-5 defense, Ezekiel Kennebrew, Kenya Smith, and Caleb Constables lead the pack up front. White, who had 5 sacks last year, and Jarrett are the defensive ends. 3rd down. 9. Adams trying to scramble, but he's going to be forced out of bounds. Ran roughshod on the side. That man whose name we just called, Kamarly Jarrett, on that tackle.
But Jaleel Lenore made that play happen. He was able to cut down Adams, as you see here, pursuit, and allowed his teammate to make the tackle right there.
There you go.
Good tackle.
And correction, I said that was Kamarly Jarrett. That was actually Devin Buskin. Thanks, Ty.
You're very welcome. So now it's 4th down, 3 and out. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Marauders.
I see those yellow forearms. That means that's Brandon Brock, who's set to receive the football. He's standing at the 30-yard line. Lexington will kick this football. Lexington Matthews. And there it is. Taken at the 25 by Brock. He reverses pivot, and he's going to be tackled. Brock thought he could get away with it, but he couldn't. All right, with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to play, as you see Marlon Jackson celebrating that tackle, there's a timeout on the field with our score, Central State 7, Savannah State, no score. Let's take timeout. We're back. Central State will have the football, their second possession of the ball game. First down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Boney waiting. He will hand to Price. Price headbanding the football. Minimal gain, maybe a gain of 1. Sticking his head inside for Savannah State, Amir Phillips. Amir Phillips, no stranger to Savannah State. You know, his dad actually played here at Savannah State back in the day.
It's important for Savannah State to get off the football field. Their defense has been on the field the entire first quarter except for the first minute.
Second down and 8. Boney will dump the football off to Dunford, and Dunford gets dumped right there in his tracks. Creary made that tackle. Now, Creary was the one that checked out of the ball game because he lost his helmet on the touchdown that the Central State Marauders caught. So on that play, that pass play, just a 4-yard pass play, third down, we'll call it 6. 3 wide receiver set. Sorry about that, Todd. Hopkins to the near side of the field along with Terrell Heath Jr. Brock is the wide man, far side of the football field. Boney has it. He looks left. Now he peers back right. Now he'll throw right. Oh, that ball almost picked off. Elijah Norwood was in the neighborhood and should have caught that football, and he will commence to doing push-ups for the drop.
Boy, Boney forced that in there. He had no business throwing that football, and he was fortunate it wasn't intercepted by Norwood. Important for Savannah State to get off the field, and they did it defensively. 3 and out for Central State, and a chance for them to get a good return for some good field position. They've only possessed the football for about a minute here in the first quarter.
Charez set to punt as they flick on the lights here at Theodore A. Wright Stadium. Bell is the deep man waiting for the football. Correction, Brown is the deep man. There's a snap, high punt. It's a spiral, and it's going to be fair caught at the 35-yard line. So it'll go in the books as a 39-yard punt, so Savannah State will get their second opportunity on offense with just 31 ticks of the clock remaining in the first stanza, Dwayne Walker along with Todd Corder. It's a gorgeous night for football, Todd. I thought when we were looking at this one coming in, I thought it was going to be raining, to be perfectly honest with you.
Perfect weather for football. A little cooler than normal this time of the year in Savannah. The humidity is way up. But it's important for Savannah State to get some first downs on this drive and keep their defense off the field, and it's important for them to get some balance and be able to get a running game going.
They'll try there as taking the jet sweep is DeMarque Colbert. Colbert, who had a couple of receptions last week against Southern, gets that carry right there. In last year's game, he had 3 catches for 21 yards. And I believe we have a flag down. Looking for our white cap. There he is. And Troy Singleton.
The penalty's on Deshaun Mitchell, the senior. And that's going to back up Savannah State with the illegal chop block. And my goodness, they put themselves in a whole heap of trouble here. They're going to have to go to their own 45-yard line to get the first down. They've got 25 yards to go. And Central State should pin its ears back and come after the quarterback. Now we have another penalty.
It's going to be 12 men on the field. One of the Savannah State players, one of the wide receivers, Braden Fowler, tried to sneak off the field, and it goes in the books as an illegal substitution, so that's another penalty. So this one, Todd, it will be, they'll have to get to the
45 30 yards.
That's 30 yards.
First and 30.
Todd, I don't believe I've ever had a 1st and 30 in my broadcast career. Think about it. 1st down and 30?
And now it's the end of the first quarter. You know, you don't have a lot of plays in the playbook, 1st and 30. Savannah State's going to have to chip away and get 10 yards at a time.
1st and 30, but 15 minutes have gone by. The first quarter has come to an end. We're going to take this time out. You are watching SIC football with our score. Central State 7, Savannah State no score. The Savannah State offense will take the field as second quarter play just moments away. First down and 30 from the 15-yard line. Jaden Adams had an 81-yard rush. Let's see if he tries to recreate that. They'll try the left side of the line for positive yardage up to the 22-yard line is Shamarcus Poole. Poole, who gets a load of the carries. He carried 5 times last week. He was a second-team preseason All-SIC selection in 9 games last year. He rushed for 368 yards. Talked to him before the game today, Todd. I asked him what was his biggest attribute. He said his vision, the way he can see the football field when he's running. Second down, 23. Adams on the keeper, and he's going to be swarmed under. Tackled on the play.
Jalil Lenore.
There you go.
Jalil Lenore is all over the field. I've been highly impressed with him.
Well, Kenya Smith.
Several tackles. He's for see ball, get ball type player. Good pursuit there. And Savannah State in a whole lot of hurting here.
Yeah.
3rd and long.
I had a double take there. Kenyon Smith made the tackle. I wanted to say Xavier Exkill until I realized, wait a minute, wrong team. So I had a double take there.
Jalil Lenore has been fabulous in this game for the Marauders.
3rd down and a long way. 3rd down and 28. Adams under attack. There's going to be another flag down. And I believe we're going to have a hold as Adam is going to need some assistance in getting up off of the football field. But he still may have another play here. But if it's on the offense, they might just simply decline the penalty and have him punt it. It is declined, so they will punt deep in their own territory. So for the 3rd time, we'll get a look at Lexington Matthews and see what he can do.
Central State is winning the battle up front. Their defensive line is dominating Savannah State's offensive line.
Matthews comes into this game with a 40-yard punting average. I think he'll end up being the punter of the year. Replacing a good one in Lockhart. There's an off snap. Lexington does an excellent job of getting rid of the football. That hit a player. Go. He can score. That's a touchdown. That should be a touchdown. Keep running, young man. Oh, I believe they whistled that play down, but that actually hit a Central State player. It bounced off of number 43, Devin Buskin Jr. They got away with one. Let's see if they show it again.
Take a look at it here on the replay.
Oh, it batted off of Buskin, if you ask me. Let's see. There you see the play right there. Watch. Keep watching. Boom. Now, unless my eyes forsake me, now keep in mind, we don't have a monitor right in front of us. We're going off of the scoreboard. And it appeared from my vantage point that the football ricocheted off Buskin. There is, however, no replay in Division II. And actually, you know what, Todd? They may have actually whistled that play down. And if that's the case, it would have killed any type of turnover.
Well, it's 1st down here for Savannah State, the penalty on Central State. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Savannah State on their own 31.
So we'll have to get clarification on what that call was. I'm a little confused. Did you see what the call was, Todd?
No, I did not, but I saw Chaz Hunter there make a nice tackle on Poole, and Poole's not able to get anywhere. That Central State defensive line is just dominating the Savannah State offensive line. They can't get a running game going. And Adams' strength is, as a quarterback, is a dual threat to be able to get a solid running game going, and they've been able to do it so far.
2nd down and 9. Hampton gets his first carry of the ball game, and he's going to be hogtied from behind. Tackled on the play by number 92, Jaden Perkins, the junior out of Indianapolis, as he chased him down from behind.
Boy, Jaden Perkins was tremendous on that play. He's got a lot of speed for a big guy. He was able to chase down the running back with no problem. And now it's 3rd and long again for Savannah State. They've got to be able to throw. Let's see if they'll throw the football down here and let Adams turn one loose, or maybe they'll give them an option to run and throw it, or maybe a quarterback draw. They've got to do something to slow down that pursuit from the Marauders' defense.
You're absolutely right. So there's a pass. Far side of the field is incomplete. Tried to find Brent Carr just out of his outstretched arms. And once again, it's going to be a punt.
That's on Adams there. Carr was wide open. If he hit him right on target, he had a chance to score a touchdown. He got behind the Central State defense. If that was an accurate pass, they could have scored a touchdown on that play. He misfired, and now the Tigers will have to punt it away.
Well, they call it trying to be on time and on target, which he was not on that one. So 4th down and 9. Brock standing at the 33-yard line. There's the punt by Lexington. Taken by Brock. And Brock is going to be tackled. Christopher Murray will get credit over that one. Another flag on the field. So this has been a laundry fest so far in this game.
That was not a good punt. There was a line drive, and Savannah State's fortunate that Brock wasn't able to get a long return on that, as we'll see what the penalty is here.
Just a 38-yard punt on that one.
Boy, a lot of penalties today, and it's costing each team dearly thus far.
So there's a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout, too, with 11:37 to play in the second quarter. Central State leads it by a score of 7-0. We'll be back.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
A little win is knowing someone's there for you. There for your business. There for your community. And everything in between. At Georgia Power, we do everything in our power to keep you going. That's why we're investing in our electric grid, to make it stronger and more dependable. Because when there's reliable energy, that's a win for all of us.
In communities where leaders are forged and legacies are born, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference proudly celebrates the accomplishments of current and former students. From the playing field to the boardroom, they are the next generation of entrepreneurs, doctors, and executives.
Leaders rise here. Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Yes. Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Yes. Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself act. He knows now.
We're back, 11:37 to play. Central State, after a penalty, Todd, they have the football in Savannah State territory. They'll swing the pass out to Leach, far side. Leach jukes one man, and he will scurry down to the 36-yard line. So 9-yard pass completion, Boney to Leach.
An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Savannah State gave Central State the good field position. As you saw the pitch and catch there from Boney to Leach, and now it's 2nd and 1, and Central State on the move.
Boney waiting in the shotgun. Leach off to his left. Boney on the quarterback keeper, sweeping left side, and he's going to be stopped. First person to get his hands on him was Tavari Bruton. Bruton, the linebacker out of Savannah, Georgia, attended Island High School. But that's good enough for a first down, so fresh set of downs for Central State. Leach will push the football to the left. Positive yardage once more. So this ground attack is churning up yardage for the Marauders, something they wanted to do coming into this contest.
And a fast break, no huddle offense. I like it for Central State, keeping Savannah State on its heels.
Leach again. They're giving them doses of Leach each and every time.
And they have no time to substitute. That's why they're going with the no huddle. They like that Savannah State personnel that was on the field. Now Savannah State hurrying up, trying to get some different personnel on the field.
See Will Jones rushing off the field. He looks a little bit winded. Now we'll get Gary Davis Jr. will check into the ball game. So it's third down and short, 3rd and 4 for the Central State Marauders. Boney tried to draw him off sides with 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Maybe a play-action pass here. We'll see.
Price in the backfield, just to the left of Boney. Play action. Over to Brock. Out over his outreached arms. So they're going for that one-on-one matchup with DeAndre Creary, the number 1 corner for this Savannah State defense.
And Brock had Creary beat on it. If Boney would have threw it right there, it would have been a slant for a touchdown. I liked it. I stated that they were going to go play action pass, and they did. Now you're going to have a long field goal attempt for Chairs.
All right, Stephon Buford will be the holder. Jose Chairs will come into the game. He will attempt a 44-yard field goal attempt. But looks like we have a timeout.
This is right inside Chairs' range for 44 yards.
Well, you heard it from Antroy Singleton. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take this timeout, too, with our score, Central State 7, Savannah State nothing. Welcome back, Central State with the football. Todd, looks like they've had a change of heart.
They did. Chairs' range is about 45 yards, and the Marauders decided to go ahead and go for it instead. I like the call.
Boney on the quarterback keeper, but he's going to be short. He tried to lunge for it, but he's not going to get it.
I didn't like that call, Dwayne. I think they should have went right back to Brandon Brock with a little one-on-one and see if they can get the football in his hands. Instead, they went with that quarterback draw, and Savannah State was able to sniff it out. And big stop for Savannah State defensively. They're only down 7-0. They just haven't got anything going thus far. That Central State defensive line has dominated the Savannah State offensive line.
Wow, big stop on 4th down. In last year's game, they went for one time and converted one time. Did Central State in that 21-10 victory that took place last October.
It was a good job by Savannah State, their front, to be able to read that quarterback draw from Boney to stop him short of a first down.
Let's see if Savannah State can get something going here on offense. That's been their Achilles heels. And speaking of Achilles and heels, tackled by the ankles is Chaz Hunter. He grabbed Shamarcus Poole. And listen, Chaz Hunter in last year's game, he had 10 tackles, Todd. 10 tackles.
Well, you mentioned
against
it.
his team.
Hunter, White, Lenore, they're all over the field. They cannot block them long enough to get Poole going. And I don't care who the running back is. If you don't have a hole, you're not going anywhere. And Central State has tackled very well today.
And that's a tackle for loss. He had 1.5 tackles for losses in last year's game. Boney looks near side now, scrambling. Will he keep the football? He will. And he's going to be helicoptered. But he does get up to the 33-yard line. Buskin was there on the scene for Central State, along with Purry.
You can see here on the replay, Adams had no one open. He rolled out to his left here, and he decided to go ahead and tuck it and get as much as he could. And good job by the Marauders to stop him short of the first down. Another third down for Central State.
Let's see what they do here.
Adams has got a lot of speed.
Poole is in. Adams under attack, and Adams is going to be dropped. Ho, ho, ho. A couple of Central State Marauders on the scene. Michelle Sherrill Jr. on the scene, as well as Kamarley Jarrett.
Just a great job by Jarrett here as Poole stepped up into the pocket. He had no chance, and he dropped him. And now the Marauders are going to get the football with pretty good field position here.
Wow, Kamarley Jarrett. He told me coming into the game that not being able to play last year, he had to sit out because one of his credits didn't transfer. But, man, did that translate, that play.
Brock was
so
wise
Lexington
to let that go.
So Lexington on the punt there.
It wasn't a great-looking punt, but it was effective, and Brock was wise to let it go, and Central State will have good field position.
37-yard punt. There's a timeout in the action with 6:50 to play in the second quarter. Our scores, Central State 7, Savannah State nothing.
In communities where leaders are forged and legacies are born, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference proudly celebrates the accomplishments of current and former students. From the playing field to the boardroom, they are the next generation of entrepreneurs, doctors, and executives.
Leaders rise here. Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
A little win is knowing someone's there for you. There for your business. There for your community. And everything in between. At Georgia Power, we do everything in our power to keep you going. That's why we're investing in our electric grid to make it stronger and more dependable. Because when there's reliable energy, that's a win for all of us.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network?
Yes.
Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Yes.
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself out. He knows now.
This Central State offense will go back on offense. Welcome back in. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Corder. 6:50 to play in the first half of play. Marauders with the lead in the football. First down and 10 for the 33. Zay Price will get the football, sweeping to his left-hand side, and he's going to gain positive yardage before being dropped by Tavari Bruton, who's been active. He's the top tackler from last year, had 49 tackles and 1.5 tackles for loss last week against Southern. Nonetheless, though, that's a positive gain for Price. The football is marked at the 39-yard line, so give him 6, 2nd and 4 from the 39.
You can get 6 yards running the football on 1st and 10. You can either run it or pass it here. It gives the offense a lot of options.
Boney will give it to Leach. Trying to see who got up from underneath the pile there.
Good pursuit on Price there defensively for Savannah State to set up a 3rd and 4. This is another critical down defensively for the Tigers. They have got to get off the field.
Ochena Nuod on that tackle. 3rd down, 4. Boney waiting. Boney getting. Boney running. Boney being tackled right at the 41-yard line. So it'll bring up a 4th down situation. Excellent pursuit by Keon Bryant, the free safety, who had 16 solo tackles last season. So he's a very good open field tackler, and he showed it on that play.
Good open field tackle here. Prevents the 1st down, and now Central State will have to punt.
A.J. Brown, the preseason second-team performer, all SIAC, is back deep. He's standing at his 15-yard line. Cherez waiting to punt the football. He's standing at the 27. Snap, punt, it's off. Oh, and he drops the football.
But he called either a penalty here. They're going to call a penalty on Savannah State, Dwayne, for either roughing the kicker or running into the kicker. And it's running in the kicker. Regardless, it'll automatically be a first down for the Marauders. I'm not so sure about that call. He barely grazed chairs.
44 yards on the punt. It will go in the books as, but it also will go down as a boneheaded play by Amari Napper on the special teams.
They almost got to chairs for the block.
He's trying to
really close.
He's tried to explain it away, but coach ain't having it. So Central State.
I didn't agree with the call at all. I don't even think that's running into the kicker. I mean, he barely grazed the kicker, and now it's going to give Central State a first down, and now Savannah State will take a timeout. It's an awful break for the Tigers, in my opinion.
Well, you have to show discipline. You got to avoid making contact any way you can. Unfortunately, he was unable to contain himself, if you will, with 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this first half of play. Our only score of the game came in the first period, where Central State, they capitalized on a 10-plus minute drive. They capped off with an option pass. That's right, an option pass. Jaden Bossy connected with Brandon Brock on a 23-yard touchdown pass that made the score 6-0, and then with the extra point, which was good, 7-0. So that's all the scoring in the first half of play. And coming into this one, partner, we didn't anticipate really a high-scoring game, as both of these teams have really struggled on offensive production.
Well, Jaden Bossy did a great job to look like he was going to run the football. The Jackson State transfer stopped, saw the defense, he sucked him in, and then he threw it right over him to Brock for the touchdown.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line for Central State. Leach is handed the football, gearing off to his left, but he's going to be stopped. Bunch of players over there.
Dwayne, I think you're going to see another trick play for Savannah State for Central State, some type of misdirection, because Savannah State, they over-pursued on that touchdown pass in the first quarter. Let's see if they can get them to over-pursue again.
William Jones on that last tackle in hot pursuit. 2nd down, Boney in the pocket, scrambling around. He loses the football, and he finally has to pounce on it. But that will go down, I believe, as a sack. And Gary Davis Jr., who touched him down, will get credit for that sack.
Boney wasn't careful with the football there, and he was fortunate he was able to get it back. that there wasn't a Tiger player to pick it up and get Central State to turn it over. Now it's 3rd and long. They got to go all the way down to the Savannah State 44-yard line. Let's see if they do some kind of screen pass just to give their punter a chance for more room to try to pin Savannah State back deep.
3rd down and 20. 4 wide receivers set. Trips to the near side. Under pursuit. Bruton just missed him. Boney with the quarterback keeper. Here comes Boney. 40, 45, 50. First down, he's got it. Boney down to the 35, 30. And there goes the flag. I believe it's coming back.
That's a shame that the flag was thrown away from the play. And this is a really bad penalty on Central State. It's going to negate a first down. Boney already had the first down, and it's going to be holding.
It's going to negate a 39-yard run.
And it was on Jeremiah Cadet, the sophomore from Orlando, Florida, and it's a costly penalty. It was away from the play. Boney had the first down, and now instead it's going to be 4th and they're going to replay 3rd down. Is that correct?
No, they advance it to 3rd. They advance it to 3rd down, but the penalty comes where after the penalty where it was marked.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5.
3rd, yeah, we'll call it 6. They need to get to the 44-yard line. Right now it's at the 50. Boney waiting. Boney has it. Looking, throwing. He's got a man. Brock comes over the catch, and he's going to be cut in half by Creary. Ooh, what a battle that is between DeAndre Creary and Brandon Brock.
Just an excellent open field tackle there by Geronde Curry. Just an excellent play. Made sure that Brock wouldn't get the first down. Excellent tackle.
I think DeAndre Creary is one of the very best and brightest in the SIAC. A first-team All-SIAC preseason selection had an interception last week against Southern.
Savannah State has 8 All-SIAC players, 7 of them second team, and you mentioned Creary, DeAndre, a first-teamer, and you can see why he is. That's just a fantastic open field tackle.
So after that penalty, it's going to be 3rd and a long way. They still have to get to the 44-yard line. The football's at the 35. Center pass into Leach, but Leach is going to be stopped by Elijah Norwood.
I actually like the call there by Central State. It didn't gain a lot of yards, but you could see the Savannah State defense really pinning their ears and coming after Boney. He was able to dump it right to the back, but a good tackle there by Savannah State to not allow any chance for a first down, and now they'll have to punt it away.
A.J. Brown standing at the 27-yard line. Charez set to punt the football. Football is at the 37-yard line. The fan saying, come on, snap the ball. And now the football play will be stopped as we have winded down to the 2-minute warning. So there is a timeout on the field. We've come to our 2-minute break. That's a new rule in the NCAA this season. Let's take time out. Our score, Central State 7, Savannah State still looking to get on the board. Welcome back in, everybody. Exactly 2 minutes to play in the first half. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Corder. 4th down and long for Central State. Chara is in to do the punting. The football is at the 37-yard line. Back deep is A.J. Brown. There's the snap. And there's the punt. Bear caught there. It's a 36-yard punt, but I believe we have another flag now. Yes, we do. Boy, I got to tell you, flags are just it's been raining flags as Rodney Bowles, the line judge, has something on the far side of the field. And now you'll see Rodney Bowles enter your screen as he talks to the Whitecap Anthony Singleton. In talking to Rodney before the game, he told me he watches for formations and the defensive line to make sure no one crosses the scrimmage line. Wow, Brent Carr, number 6, and Marlon Jackson, number 6, both 6'3", both seniors, both from Georgia. Both are going to be nabbed for that penalty. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. You can't have two players on the field with the same jersey number, so that was the call. We have had a litany of penalties in this first half, Todd. In last year's game, a total of 9 penalties combined for both teams. This year's game already in one half of play well into double digits.
It's inexcusable. That penalty really is inexcusable. Somebody wasn't supposed to be in the game, and that's what caused the penalty.
Brent Carr will line up wide on the near side. Adams looks right, now looks left. Now he's in hot pursuit. And he will be chased out of bounds. Jaleel Lenore made an excellent choice not to lay hands on the quarterback as he was out of bounds. 1:41 to play in the first half.
Boy, Adams has got a lot of speed, and Central State has done a great job of not over-pursuing, staying in their lanes, forcing Adams to take only what he can get, which hasn't been a lot thus far.
Second down, 6. Adams being chased from behind and once again run out of bounds on the left-hand side. Chaz Hunter ran him out.
Great job by Carlos Carter. That's 2 plays in a row that Carter has chased down Adams and allowed his teammate to get to the tackle. And Adams doesn't have a lot of time to throw, partner.
Another gain of 4. So I'm assuming this is a run because Brent Carr wasn't even in the huddle to receive the play. So I'm assuming this is going to be a run play on 3rd and short. They've got to get to the 32-yard line. Adams waiting for the snap. No, it's a pass. And it goes to Hampton out of the backfield. Hampton scurrying right side. And, ooh, he gets shot. Wow, what a shot delivered there by Kirk. Correction, that shot was delivered by Travion Searcy. Not before, however, Hampton got a first down.
Watching Adams, as you see the screen pass there for a first down. Good job to getting the first down for Savannah State was Hamilton. But Adams, to me, doesn't stay in the pocket long enough. If his first read isn't there, his instinct is to take off. He should have. I know that the Savannah State offensive line hasn't done a very good job against Central State's front 4 or front 7, but he's got to show a little bit more patience and allowing time for his reads to throw the football downfield, because if he doesn't, that's going to allow other Central State defenders to just pursue him, and he's not going to be able to run the ball very far down the field. After that first look, that first read, his instinct is to run, and he should stay in there and try to look at his second and third read downfield.
Haven't had a chance to say this a lot. First down, a new set of downs for Savannah State. Adams slings the football across, and it's going to be caught at the 41-yard line. Coming up with that football for Savannah State, Randy Scott. First time we've called his name today. Hurry up offense now, 1:07 to play in the half. Gain of 6. Far side pass intended for Mitchell, just out of his reach. Covering on the play, once again, Kirk Smith. Correction, Travion Searcy.
Central State defensively doesn't even respect the deep ball at all from Savannah State. They're all getting up there on the line of scrimmage. They're crowding the receivers, and they're daring them to throw the ball deep. Savannah State has some good wide receivers. They need to get the football downfield and not let Central State crowd that line of scrimmage. Look at the corners. They're all within 5 yards of the receiver.
Adams has it. He's under duress. Near side, it's caught there by Poole. Poole tries to shake and bake Buskin, but he can't. And the football is going to be at the 42-yard line. So it is a positive gain. It'll bring up third down. No, it'll bring up fourth down. 4th down and 2. So just short of a first down. And once again, we'll see Lexington Matthews. Matthews out of Atlanta, Georgia, went to Union Grove High School. Dare I say, that's about 10 minutes from my house.
Central State content and letting the clock just run out. I thought they may call a timeout to try to stop the clock, to try to get the football maybe with a good return to midfield potentially. But now they have not done it, and Savannah State is going to take a timeout instead because they didn't have the proper personnel on the field, or they're going to change their mind and go for it on 4th down. I don't know why you would do that when you have the ball in your own 43 in your own territory, because if you don't get it, you're going to give Central State a chance to heave one in the end zone as time would expire in the first half. They've got to punt the football away here. It looked like to me they didn't have all their personnel on the field.
And just a reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll get an opportunity to see the 125-member Powerhouse of the South. That's right, the Savannah State Marching Band. That will happen at halftime. And, folks, we have a little bit of history to tell you about. That's right, we'll share with you the story of a drum major, Christopher Taylor, who will go down in history as the first white drum major at Savannah State University. So congratulations going out to that young man.
Let's see if Central State doesn't try to block this year. They were really successful in blocking punts a year ago. Nope, they set up the return instead. Nice punt.
And it's going to roll, and it's going to be marked. Where do they mark that football at?
Right at the 11-yard line. The question is there 1 second on the clock, or are we at halftime? It is halftime.
46 yards on the punt, and that will bring us to halftime. So the only score of the first quarter, a 23-yard touchdown pass from Bossy to Brock in the first quarter. That's our only score of the game. Once again, we've reached the midway point of our contest with Central State and Savannah State. We invite you to stick around for the upcoming halftime show, which will feature, once again, the Powerhouse of the South Band. That's just around the corner after we take this time out. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. And welcome back to Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State University, where our halftime score, Central State 7, Savannah State no score. Coming up right now, we're going to have a halftime performance by the Powerhouse of the South, a 125-member band here at Savannah State University. Right now, during our halftime festivities, they're giving a presentation at the 50-yard line. And while we have an opportunity, let's go ahead and recap the scoring right quick in that first half. Central State scoring their lone touchdown with 4:43 to play in the first quarter. It came on an option pass where running back Jaden Bossy received a handoff from quarterback Kendall Boney, scrambled to the right, looked down the field, and was able to connect with wide receiver Brandon Brock. So Brandon Brock scoring his first touchdown of the year for Central State. Now, both teams have had an opportunity to score the football, but this first half has been littered with a rash of penalties. Multiple holding penalties. Very sloppily played in lots of ways. And coming up in a few, after a couple of breaks, we're going to break down the first half statistics. So as I mentioned before, coming up at halftime, we're going to have a performance by the Savannah State University Marching Band. And today is a history-making moment. Why? Because for the first time in program history, Christopher Taylor will be the first white drum major in the program's history. Had an opportunity to talk to the director of bands, Dr. Gabriel Arnold, who said that he's a first-rate kid and really lauded him for his training, his discipline, and what expectations have come from him being the drum major. And this is a major accomplishment for this young man, who was the freshman of the year in 2023 and the best marcher in 2023 and 24 at the annual band banquet. So once again, we'd like to send out our congratulations to Christopher Taylor, his third year with the band program. Congratulations, young man.
They are formerly known as
Madam President, we would like to thank you for all you do for the powerhouse of the South. This is a small token of our appreciation. Give it up for Madam President.
Welcome back, everyone. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Corder. We're at Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State, where Central State leads it by a score of 7-0 over Savannah State. And broadcast partner, what'd you see in that first half of play that caught your eye?
Saw a lot of penalties. Didn't see a lot of offense, especially from Savannah State. They had 23 yards of offense in the first half on 18 plays. They can't run it and they can't throw it. And their offensive line is losing the battle up front against that Central State defensive line. To flip the script, Central State, other than the first drive, they really haven't had a lot of offense neither. They only have 130 total yards of offense. They're able to run it somewhat. They have 76 yards, and they have 54 yards through the air. So they've had better luck with it than Savannah State has.
All right, so the third quarter is underway, and the football is kicked into the end zone for a touchback.
Central State had 7 penalties for 80 yards in the first half, and Savannah State had 5 for 50.
All right, so when we return, we'll have this offense take the field on Savannah State. You're watching SIC football on ESPN+.
A little win is knowing someone's there for you. There for your business. There for your community. And everything in between. At Georgia Power, we do everything in our power to keep you going. That's why we're investing in our electric grid to make it stronger and more dependable. Because when there's reliable energy, that's a win for all of us.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing
Offensively, they're going to get the ball first.
HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
What are you guys doing? Learning that HBCUs are not only about networking, there's also secret handshakes.
That's cap. HBCUs do not have secret handshakes, right?
You mean this secret handshake?
Cool.
Wow, these guys are almost cricket 5G fast.
We're kidding. There's no such thing as a secret handshake. Or is there?
Whoa, that's how you do it.
Central State University is home.
Is empowering. Is family.
Is legacy.
Central State University is athletics.
It's high tide, so I'm rising, it's my time. You tried fighting, your mind need a lifeline. Looking like you seen a ghost in the sci-fi. See him trying to get in close so they might shine. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that. We on the way, know that.
All right, so for the first time, Savannah State will have the football in the second half. And they have it at their own 25-yard line, first down and 10. Welcome in. Central State winning 7-0 against Savannah State. Adams, he keeps the football. He's running, but he's going to be tackled, and I mean rustled down to the ground. Carlos Carter picking up the aggression as he sacks the quarterback.
Terrific pursuit by Carlos Carter. He just grabbed Adams by the shirt and threw him down, and it's a big loss. In Savannah State, they've only had the football 10 minutes and 23 seconds in the first half. They had 1 first down last week. They only had 2 here in the first half. It's hard to win a football game if your offense doesn't have the ball.
Huge loss on that play, loss of 9. Once again, Adams under duress, and he's going to be tackled. Now he flips the ball with his left hand, but it's going to be picked off, I do believe, on the near side of the football field. Devin Buskin comes up with an interception.
An ill-advised pass there by Adams, and a terrific interception by Buskin, a diving interception which gives Central State terrific field position for their first possession here in the second half. I just don't understand why Adams threw the football. He should have taken the sack.
Adams was trying to channeling Patrick Mahomes, but unfortunately that left-handed shuffle pass did not work.
Well, he had no one open. Nobody was open. The only guy there was Buskin.
Offensive coordinator Nick Trist is besides himself on the Savannah State sideline. Let's see if they go for the end zone here. Boney on the first down carry, and he's going to be stopped by Gary Davis Jr. on the first down and 10 from the 17-yard line. Wow.
Partner, I thought Boney made the wrong read there and should have handed the ball off to Zay Price.
Normally after a turnover like that, you take a shot at the end zone. You want to catch the other team while they're down, but they didn't do that. They opted for the run.
I like the play call. I just think he should have gave the football to Price. He made the wrong read.
Let's see if they give it to Price going along the left-hand side. Lots of room on the far side of the football field. Let's see. Boney, he throws over the middle, and it is caught. Caught by Cameron Hopkins. And that football is going to be placed at the 4-yard line.
Look at him going no huddle, partner. Keeping them on their heels.
Football marked at the 3-yard line. Sweep right. Price is almost right. It's going to be marked out at the 1-yard line. There you see our linesman down there marking that football at the 1-yard line. Norwood on the tackle.
That was a really good pass, partner, by Boney. The play action froze the linebacker, and he was able to throw over the top.
Once again on the carry is Price. He's going to be stopped again. Grabbed along the legs by Bruton. Correction, they give Bentley credit for that tackle.
Great pursuit by Savannah State. They need a goal line stand here to keep this a one-score game, because I'm believing Central State, if it's 4th and goal on the 1, I believe that Coach Porter is going to go for it.
3rd and 1. They've got a stack at the top of the formation. In Hopkins and Brock. Boney sweeping. He has a man, and it's not going to be in the end zone, however. Tried to hit Brock, but the football was underthrown. And now it's 4th down.
That play stood no chance. It was not a good throw by Boney. He needed to throw the ball into the end zone instead of make Brock come back to the football out of the end zone. And we'll see, are they going to settle for a field goal here? They had the ball on the 1-yard line for 3 straight plays. And if you're Savannah State, this is huge to hold him to 3 points here if he makes the field goal.
Wow, what a gut punch. 17-yard field goal attempt by Charez. There's the hole. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 11:48 to play in the second half, in the third quarter, I should say, a 17-yard field goal by Jose Charez gives Central State a 10-0 lead. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take 1-2. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. Welcome back in, everyone. 11 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the third quarter. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Quarter. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN Plus. After a 17-yard field goal by Jose Chairs, the Marauders have a commanding 10-0 lead. And, Todd, I know you feel as though they dodged a bullet, did Savannah State.
Sure did. You have 3 cracks at the 1-yard line, and you can't get it in. That's just a great job by the Tigers. Let's see what they can do on offense here. I think you're going to need some quick, easy reads from Adams because Savannah State can't run the football with Poole. They need to get the ball to Colbert, Mitchell, and Springs out on the perimeter, and maybe they can do a traditional screen pass to Poole because Central State, they're daring Savannah State to throw the football downfield, try to get them to over-pursue on defense, and try to get some first downs to move the chains because Savannah State's defense has been on the field over 2-1 in this football game, and there's no way their defense is going to be able to hold them out of the end zone much longer without being tired. Eventually, Central State's going to wear them down.
Savannah State has the football after the touchback. First down and 10 to their own 25. Adams is the quarterback. Hampton is one of the running backs in the backfield. And they have a delay of game. I got to tell you something, partner, and I don't mean to be critical of this Savannah State offense, but at what point, if you're Coach Aaron Kelton, do you make the decision to go with your backup quarterback, Christian Burks, just as a change of pace to see if you can get something sparked?
Well, we'll see. They're going to give Adams every chance to get it going. He is a second-team All-SIAC performer. And here he is with a football getting out to the 30-yard line. That was a good play.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see why they put so much trust in him as Dylan Purry came up with that tackle.
He's like an extra running back in the backfield. Maybe some quarterback draws, some type of maybe a misdirection or reverse to try to get Central State to over pursue because they don't respect the deep ball at all.
And again, I didn't say replace him. I just said give him a breather. Try something new. Adams on the quarterback keeper once again. Near side of the football field. He keeps his feet churning, and that's going to be a first down for Savannah State.
That's their third first down of the game, and now we have a flag coming in on the play late.
Don't know what happened on that play or who is going to be the culprit. If we have a couple of players laid out on the turf. Travion Searcy was the last one to get up from the pile.
Boy, this is a huge call here. If this is against Savannah State, it's going to negate every positive thing they've done on this drive.
So there you heard it from Ann Troy Singleton, our Whitecap tonight. Fine officiating crew tonight. Umpire Joshua Jackson, the linesman Carlton Kelly, the center judge James Crowell, the line judge Rodney Bowles, the field judge Maynard Williams. Kenneth Strong is the side judge, the back judge Steve Bailey. A lot of these guys are retired servicemen from the Army, from the Navy. Adams will give to Hampton. Hampton finding running room. 50 down to the 46-yard line. So he comes in and gives the offense a spark as Purry had to bring him down.
See, I like that call there because everybody was going towards Adams. Instead, they handed the ball off on a counter play, caught Central State over pursuing the quarterback, and got a first down.
15 yards on that carry by Hampton. First down and 10 for Savannah State at the 46-yard line of Central State. Play action. Adams rolling to his right. He's going to keep the football, and he's going to advance to the 42. So a 4-yard carry on the plus side. Second down and 6 forthcoming.
The speed of Adams made that entire play because I thought Jalil Lenore was going to get him, and he couldn't get him because he couldn't catch him. Watch this speed here. I mean, once he gets outside, forget it. Good pursuit. But he was able to at least get 4 yards, which is a positive. If you can get 3 to 4 yards on first down, it allows you more options offensively.
Adams was the leading rusher for this team last year. He ran for 415 yards and 5 touchdowns. He already has a touchdown this year, an 81-yard jaunt, which is a team record. Shamarcus Poole finds daylight along the right side, and he's going to skip down to the 31-yard line. So there's a quick 11-yard hitter by Poole.
I believe it's coming back.
No.
A procedure penalty against Savannah State.
Wow.
Yep. My goodness, they're kicking themselves in the foot. But I love the call again. A little bit of misdirection. Got the back to the outside. And unfortunately for the Tigers, all for naught. And now they're put in 2nd and 11. And they have been not successful today at all on 2nd and long or 3rd and long.
Jadon Adams waiting on 2nd and 11. Swing pass near side Poole. Poole 45, 40, 35. And he's going to be roped up at the 34-yard line. So 13 yards on that connection.
You see the difference? Quick read, get rid of the football, don't hold it, get some screen passes, try to spread Central State out, and get rid of the ball quickly. In the first half, he was holding the football too long.
First down for Savannah State at the 35-yard line. Near side, the football is complete. First time we've called this young man's name all afternoon, and that's Deshaun Mitchell, the team's leading receiver last year. He caught 50 balls for 750 yards and 4 touchdowns, but only caught 1 ball last week.
Now you've been successful with the screen passes. Central State's going to line up and try to defend that now. Now would be a good time to throw the ball over the top. They've got some room on the far side of the field there.
Defensive back, however, is playing up. Now he comes up more. Adams, they go for it, what you called. They had a receiver wide open. So, partner, what you called for them going over the top, far side of the football field. Deshaun Mitchell was out there dancing by his lonesome. He was wide open.
He was absolutely wide open. They bit on the fake, and they over-pursued defensively, and all he had to do was look up and see Mitchell wide open downfield. Instead, he settled for the short pass.
I might start calling you Coach Quarter. Seems like you're learning some stuff from your son, who was a football coach.
Down the field, once you have the defense in, throw it over the top.
3rd down and 4 from the 29-yard line for Savannah State. Desperately looking to score. With that football, Poole finding some running room along the near side. And Poole is going to get down to the 20-yard line.
See, again, a little bit there of a counter because they're watching the quarterback, and instead they're giving it to Poole on the counter, and they're able to get a successful gain because they're catching the defense to over-pursue.
9-yard effort by Poole, so now it seems as though the Savannah State Tigers offense, they have it going here. This is their best burst of momentum all game long. Longest drive and deepest penetration.
It's the only drive they've had today.
First down and 10 from the 21-yard line of Central State. They're nearing the red zone. In motion is Colbert. The option. Adams wisely kept the football and took the loss as Chaz Hunter. That Chaz Hunter's a bad man. Do you realize he once had 24 tackles in a single game? 24.
Boy, he sniffed that read option out perfectly, and you're right. Adams made a wise move catching the football, and then Chaz Hunter, the transfer from the University of Akron, sniffed it out, and that was that, and now it's 2nd and long. But I like the call. I like the read option there.
It goes in the book as a tackle for loss. Chaz Hunter had 1.5 tackles for loss last year in that game against Savannah State. Give him another one here. Now they try for the end zone this time. Some miscommunication. Colbert ran the out when he should have ran the up.
And actually that time Adams had some green grass he could have taken off downfield and got close to the first down.
So a bit of confusion. Watch here as Demike Colbert
he rolled out. He could have threw the ball. He could have ran the ball.
Yes, had plenty of space.
Instead, there was miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver, but he had green grass in front of him. The one time you want him to run it, he didn't.
Big third down coming up right here for Savannah State. At the 23-yard line. The pass is going to be ruled an incompletion. They tried to get it to Shamarcus Poole, and the football fell to the ground, and that killed the play. So, boy, once again, Savannah State with an opportunity on that third down. Last season, they converted only 34% of their third down challenges.
Central State knew that play was coming. They sniffed that screen to Poole immediately and did a good job defending. But now here comes a critical field goal attempt to try to make it a one-score game.
In the ball game right now, attempting a field goal is Jimmy Mai, the transfer from McPherson College, an NAIA school out of McPherson, Kansas. He will be attempting a 41-yard field goal. The snap, the hold, the kick. It's got plenty of legs. And those legs look good. So, how about it? With 6:09 to play in the third quarter, a 41-yard field goal by the kicker, Jimmy Mai. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout too. Central State leads by 3, 10-7. We'll be back.
In communities where leaders are forged and legacies are born, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference proudly celebrates the accomplishments of current and former students. From the playing field to the boardroom, they are the next generation of entrepreneurs, doctors, and executives.
Leaders rise here. Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Hey, Don, what made you become a cricket campus ambassador?
Do tell.
I live to network. HBCU is all about that. The key word being network.
Oh, like a certain network that has speedy 5G?
I see you can take a hint.
I can drop a hint too, Don.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Well, the Savannah State Tigers finally get on the scoreboard thanks to a 41-yard field goal by Jimmy Mai that my broadcast partner says may have been good from 50.
Definitely could have been good from 50, no doubt about it. And as the great Dick Enberg would say, oh my, Jimmy my, we have a one-score game, 10-3, with 6 and 9 to play in the third quarter, and that was a huge kick. Oh my. Important series here defensively for the Tigers as we get a whistle.
Lexington Matthews will kick the football off. Back deep is Jeremiah Cadet as well as Jaden Bossy. Bossy has one touchdown completion in the game. He connected on a 23-yard pass play to Brandon Brock. The only touchdown scored in this contest, which came in the first quarter of play, that gave Central State a 7-0 lead.
We'll see if Central State, when they get the football on this drive, doesn't come up with a trick play themselves, a reverse, a double reverse, maybe another halfback pass. Who knows?
Bossy from the 15, up to the 25, 35, 45, near midfield, and in comes a flag.
We've got a fight here on the field, right at the 42-yard line. Bossy has a lot of speed on that far side of the field. I think we have multiple flags on the play. We'll have to let the officials sort this out.
35-yard return if it holds, but that remains to be seen. And they're going to give the kicker credit with that tackle. So you know it's never good if your kicker and or punter makes a tackle on a play. So our officials crew will consult. So after the special teams penalty, Savannah State, they're going to move them back.
That'll be a holding against the Marauders. That's going to put them on the 30 instead of the nice run.
Yeah, Savannah State's going to push them back.
Boy, Bossy's got a lot of speed, the red shirt freshman, the transfer from Jackson State University. Mount Carmel, Illinois native. And this drive here is huge for each team.
Leach on the left side of Boney. First down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Boney will handle Leach. Leach will creep forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks. First time we've called Xavier Squillen's name on the tackle for Savannah State.
Huge drive for Central State here and a huge defensive stand for Savannah State. They can get the ball back. They have a chance to tie it.
Xavier Squillen, the business major. Boney throws far side. Oh, I got to give credit for Brandon Brock. Heads up play by Brandon Brock. He realized that DeAndre Creary was getting ready to take that one to the house, and he played a little zone defense. Watch as he prevents Creary from catching this football on the replay. What a heads up play by Brock, the wide receiver. Watch this while he gets his body into Creary to prevent him from picking that football off.
Right, fronted Creary from getting the ball. It was a bad throw by Boney, and it could have been a pick six.
Third down and 10. Let's see how this Marauders offense responds.
Let's see if they don't come out with a quick screen here to at least try to get some yards for the punter to punt it away if they fall short.
You keep testing Creary, you're going to get burnt. Boney under pursuit. Skillen had a chance to get him, but could not. Gary Davis finally runs the quarterback out of bounds as that football sails awry.
Gary Davis Jr. on the play. A terrific play by Davis Jr. to make Boney throw the ball away, and a smart play by Boney. Don't force it and throw it out of bounds and give your defense a chance to keep the lead for you as you're up by 7, as you need a good punt here by Chairs. And on the other hand, Savannah State, let's see if they don't try to come and get him. They've just missed him several times I think they're going to try to block this one for sure.
4th down and 9 from the 31. Looks like Carr's back deep for Savannah State. First time seeing him back there.
See, they're coming close. They're just not able to get to him.
Carr. Driving. Near side. Still going. And finally rustled out of bounds. What a return. That was actually Bezo. First time we've called his name all year, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. But there's a flag on the field. Wow. Let's see what the call is going to be. 42-yard punt. Ooh, wow.
Got to be able to keep your cool as two players were ejected from this football game. One from the Tigers, one from the Marauders. But what a return to give Savannah State a short field and a chance to tie it. And it was all speed on that one.
Ronnie Fiazon, that was a 53-yard return, folks. 53 yards. Got it at the 27, and they're marking it now at the 20.
Look at the speed as you see here on the replay. Got to the near side of the field and set up the Tigers with excellent field position.
And now we see Antroy Singleton will have something to say before he gets play underway. Waiting for him to blow that whistle. And here we go. First out and 10 for Savannah State. Second best opportunity of the game to score. Adams waiting for the snap. In motion comes Colbert. They hand to Poole. Poole finding daylight near side. Poole stiff arms a man down to the 15-yard line. He stiff armed Burry along the near side before skating out of bounds at the 15. So a 5-yard pickup.
Instead of a counter, instead of misdirection, they decided to run right at Central State that time. Great job by that left side of the offensive line to give Poole a nice run on first down. Now it's much easier 2nd and 5 than 2nd and 10. It changes the entire play calling sequence.
Last year, Savannah State was 26 of 33 in the red zone, and they scored 18 touchdowns in 33 opportunities. Adams, play fake, rolling right. He's got running room. Adams down to the 10, and he's going to be bumped out of bounds, but there is a flag down. This should be interesting. T.J. Tucker was the one that knocked him out.
I believe we're going to get a hold on the far side of the field.
The wide receiver.
Savannah State.
Yeah.
You don't need to hold him when Adams gets outside. Let him do it himself. He had a first down regardless. And now they're going to bring it back, I believe. That's a shame because I love the play call there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So once again, when Savannah State has some momentum going, Deshaun Mitchell, the culprit on that last play, given the holding call. Yeah, in that situation, he really didn't have to hold.
He had it already. Now it changes everything from a 2nd and 5 to a 2nd and 9. And actually, it would have been a first down. But the difference between 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 9 is huge when you're calling plays.
In motion goes Poole. The pass is complete down to Carr. And the football is going to be marked at the 6-yard line. So a 13-yard pass play, and that's actually Faison.
Nice route by Faison, a little curl inside the Central State zone. Adams recognized it and got it right to him on a nice pitch and catch. And now you have 1st and goal on the 5.
Got to give Savannah State credit for going deep into the wide receiver rotation. Faison making an impact on special teams and in the receiving corps. Is that pass intended for Faison? Oh, but I love the coverage by Purry.
Dylan Purry was spectacular there. He saved a touchdown. His timing was perfect to knock the pass away. As you see here, it was perfect. No penalty on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
Dylan Purry played football, baseball, basketball, and track in high school.
You got to let Adams run and throw it here. It's got to be some type of option. If he can get outside, let him take his feet in. Here's a quarterback draw. And a great job of pursuing there. Wow. Nice tackle. Wrestled him down. Did Kenyon Smith. And now it's 3rd down.
Smith, the 6'2 junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Haven't called his name a lot. I'm sure he wants to pick up his defensive intensity. He plays the nose guard position, and now he's jawing back and forth. 2 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. And we have a timeout on the field.
You know what, partner? I would go back to the counter here, get Adams, go to the far side of the field, so let Central State over-pursue and give it to Poole on a counter, and he can come to the near side and potentially get a touchdown. Go back to that well. It's been successful because Central State here, it's going to be tough for Savannah State, I believe, to throw for a touchdown. Adams is not exactly, it's not his strong suit to be able to try to throw the ball in a short field.
2 minutes, 26 seconds remaining.
Now, you could get him to roll out and give him a run-pass option. And if you're Central State and you see him roll out, you can't over-pursue because he could throw the ball. You've got to cut down his angle and don't let him get outside, because if he gets outside, forget it.
2:26 remaining 3rd quarter. I see Deshaun Mitchell to the near side. Let's see if they try to toss it up in the air to him. Poole just off to the right. In motion comes Mitchell. Mitchell has the football, sweeping right. Mitchell still with the football, hurdles over a man, but he's going to be grabbed at the ankles.
Just terrific pursuit by Central State defensively. Jalil Lenore missed the tackle, but it slowed down Mitchell long enough for his teammates to catch him, and now it's 4th down, and I believe you're Savannah State. You've got to take the points that are given to you, make the field goal, and make this a 4-point game.
Jazz Hunter was the one that brought him down, corralled him by his feet.
They're going for it, partner. Maybe they're going to try to draw him off and get half the distance.
4th and goal. Here we go for Savannah State. This offense looking to get a touchdown on the board. Adams throws to the end zone, and it's going to be batted down. Incomplete. So the Central State Marauders, they hold.
Great discipline by Central State defensively. As you see the replay here, Adams rolled out, and no chance 3 defenders were there to knock the ball away.
42% efficiency on 4th downs last year, but they came up short on that one.
I would have taken the points. This is a low-scoring game. Points are precious. You would have made it a 1-score game to take the lead. Had you kicked the field goal 10-6, the way your defense is playing here in the second half, they have flipped the field. They have flipped the field position, and you would have had Central State. They would only have been down by 4, Savannah State, in a 1-possession game. It's still a 1-possession game, but the best you can do is tie it unless you go for 2.
1st down and 10 from the 5-yard line. Carried by Leach. Correction, that was Boney on the quarterback keeper after the direct snap. Leach was standing off to his left, but that direct snap to the quarterback who advanced the football, nice gain there, 5 yards.
Marauders' offensive line needs to come up big here and start giving holes for the running back to run through, or they're going to be in trouble and have to punt it away.
2nd down and 9, positive carry. Looks like a first down carry by Leach. This is going to be close, but I think they're going to advance the chains for a fresh set of downs, and they will.
Good hard run by Leach. Good side on that right. Good job by that right side of the offensive line for Central State.
We're under a minute to play, 36 seconds to be exact in the third quarter. Let's not forget, Central State, they had a 10-plus minute drive to begin this contest in the first quarter when they scored a touchdown. Leach will try the left side this time. Leach still churning, and he will plunge ahead to the 26-yard line.
Last play, it was Samuel Young. This time they tried the other side and get great results. And it's a first down. I think Central State and their coaching staff, Coach Porter said, look, we're going to put our offensive line, we're going to put the offensive line on its back, and we're going to run the football down Savannah State's throat. Play Marty ball, and that's what they've done thus far.
Well, that was a 12-yard effort, and that brings us to the conclusion of the third quarter. When we come back, we'll have the final frame with our score, Central State 10, Savannah State 3. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. Welcome back in, everyone. Dwayne Walker along with Todd Quarter. Fourth quarter play just underway. Central State with the football. And on that running play is Leach. Leach will get up past the 30-yard line, and they're going to mark it at the 32-yard line. So give them 6 on that carry.
And going right back to the no huddle, so Savannah State cannot change personnel. I like that run by Leach. Good vision. Cut up the field, saw he had nothing on the near side.
2nd and 3. A flag goes down, and there's going to be an illegal procedure against the offense. So both teams, we've seen each of these teams, Todd. Both teams commit penalties at inopportune times, especially after positive plays.
Correct. There's no doubt about it. I really like this Jarvis Leach, the transfer from Tiffin University, the redshirt freshman from Rockford, Illinois.
He's getting a lot of carries here so far in this contest.
He's a tough runner. He doesn't really think a lot. He just sees the hole and hits it. 2nd down and 8. Football at the 29. Boney in the pocket. He surveys and he throws, and it's bobbled in and out of the hands. Wow. Nigel Robinson, the tight end out of Detroit, Michigan, the freshman, showed some freshman jitters on that play. He looked up without having the football. He looked upfield to see if he could run it. You'll see it here on the replay. Nice pass by Boney. He was wide open, and he looked up without the football.
Young man thought he was making his first career catch.
It's a shame, unfortunately, for Central State, but now it's 3rd and long. Huge play here for Savannah State. You know, I found it interesting that they went away from the run, did Savannah State, when they really relied on their offensive line to get them a couple of first downs.
30% on 3rd downs last year. Boney, he's going to be grabbed at the ankles, and he's tackled. What a defensive play by Tony Roundtree. The huge defensive tackle for Savannah State.
6'3" and 325. And look at this tackle here on Boney by Roundtree. A shoelace saving tackle. And now it gives Savannah State an opportunity for excellent field position. They came after chairs several times. Let's see if they can get a block punt for an easy touchdown.
With that size, Tony Roundtree has aspirations of playing at the next level. His influences are Dexter Lawrence, the defensive end. Oh, that one was almost blocked. Chairs just gets it off. And that punt is going to be taken at the 46-yard line. So that's going to be just a 30-yard punt at the end of the day.
Let me go back to when Savannah State decided to go for it on the Central State 4-yard line. See, if you had kicked the field goal, now you have a chance to take the lead. Analytics has really changed the game of football at the college level and the professional level, and you should have taken the points instead of chasing them.
There's a timeout on the field. Why don't we take this timeout, too, with our score? Central State 10, Savannah State 3. Let's take timeout. Come in. Can you get a shot of the officials, please? 13-16 to play in regulation. Savannah State has the football. They are trailing it by 7, 10-3. First down and 10 from their 45. Adams rolls out to his right, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Colbert. So Demike Colbert should have come down with that football. They say, partner, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. And unfortunately on that one, he did not.
Let's see what Nick Trist does, the offensive coordinator for Savannah State here. And let's see what the defensive coordinator, Corey Stone, does for Central State. Let's see if they dial up some pressure now, 2nd and long.
From the 45-yard line. Play action. It's dumped, and it's caught along the near side. That's Fowler. Fowler in the open, 30, 20-yard line. So let's give him credit for that. I think there's a flag down.
Sure is. It's where Adams took a big hit right there on his own 38-yard line.
Pass complete to Braylon Fowler, who made his first reception of his career last week.
That was a beautiful play call there by Nick Trist. Got the ball to Fowler, the tight end.
But once again, Todd, we've talked about, I've heard you say repeatedly, wow, I love the call after a penalty. That's the unfortunate part. You got to be disciplined on offense. And I know coming into this game, Coach Kelton wanted to concentrate on making positive plays.
Boy, if there's not a holding there, it's a big gain, and it's 15 more yards as Central State there. They put a big hit on Adams, but it was definitely roughing the passer. And now it's 2nd and 10.
Once again from the 45-yard line, Colbert in motion. They'll fake it to Hampton. Adams will keep, and Adams will be brought down. Jaleel Lenore on that tackle. There's a name we consistently call out. Hey, you heard the public address announcer say it behind me, Dennis Little, to back me up.
3rd and long here. I'm really interested in what Savannah State is going to call here. Central State is daring them to throw the football downfield, even on 3rd and long situations. They don't believe they can beat them up top.
Boy, Jaleel Lenore playing with a lot of energy. He had an interception in the game last year. Let's see if he can produce another one here. Adams back to pass on 3rd down. He's under duress. He throws the football, and it's going to be caught by Colbert. Colbert stiff arms a man down to the 35, and he will barrel his net way down to the 30-yard line. 23-yard pass play to Demike Colbert.
The feet of Adams made that play. He was able to buy himself enough time. He had the presence to look downfield and find Colbert wide open for the first down. A beautiful play here. Terrific.
First down and 10 at the 30-yard line of Central State for Savannah State. They hand it to Hampton. Hampton juking and diving, and he's near first down yardage. He actually has first down yardage.
The offensive line for Savannah State lined up, put a hat on a hat, and said, we're coming right down your throat. And they did for a first down.
11 yards on that carry. First down and 10 from the 19-yard line for Savannah State. They are surging, desperately trying to find the end zone. Hampton just off to the right of Adams. Adams keeps rolling right. Adams down near the goal line. And he's going to be chased out near the goal line. I'm sorry, near the 9-yard line. Excuse me. And that may be good enough for another Tigers first down.
The speed of Adams got around Mike White. He wasn't able to quite get to him. And look at this. Savannah State in business. First and goal. Have a chance to tie this thing up. Or if they decide to go for 2, That will be interesting, but I'm thinking you can't go for two here. You can't leave that point on the field. You've got to kick it and tie it if they get the touchdown.
Now we're going to delay a substitution here. Let's see. As Savannah State tried to get Deshaun Mitchell on the field, so that will allow for Central State for them to make a substitution. And now Coach Kelton just said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and call timeout.
Well, the play clock was getting ready to run down. He had no choice or would have been a delay of game. So wise timeout there for Savannah State. Now you have a lot of options here if you're Savannah State. You didn't score the touchdown here last time. Are you going to continue to give Adams the chance to roll out and either run it or throw it? I'm looking for maybe a counter here to get Central State to over-pursue.
Well, on that last offensive play, if you looked at the pre-snap set, they had two running backs in the game, both Shamarcus Poole as well as Joseph Hampton, and very rarely tonight have we seen both of those running backs in the game at the same time. So you want to think maybe they're going to run option to either side, depending on how the defense is set up.
Or they're just going to line up and run it down their throat. That's an excellent point. And they're also giving them a different look with the two backs. So let's see what Central State does here. I think they need to stay disciplined, rush 4, and make Adams beat him with his arm. And stay in your lane and stay disciplined.
So here we go, first down and goal from the 8-yard line. Adams waiting in shotgun formation. Poole on the right, Hampton on the left. They fake it to Hampton, and the football is thrown incomplete to the far side of the football field. I got to give the quarterback credit on that play, Jadon Adams. It was an excellent ball fake. I thought he had handed the football off to the running back.
And it was a great job by Central State to stay home, knock the ball down here by the defender. A really excellent play there by Travis Reese, the linebacker from Auburn Hills, Michigan, the transfer from Davenport University.
Second down and goal. Now, I got to ask you, partner, are you saying that this is 4-down territory no matter what with 9:38 to play, with this defense playing fairly well for both of these clubs, actually?
Again, if it's 4th down, I kick it.
Second down. They're going to give it. Sweeping right, and there's a flag down.
I believe we're going to get a horse collar there.
That's a possibility, as Hampton is going to be brought down by Mike White, but we'll wait and see what the call is. Here comes Antroy Singleton.
Okay, he didn't horse collar him. It's holding instead. And Mike White caused that holding penalty. I couldn't tell, partner, if he horse collared him or not. We're a long ways up.
Nonetheless, it's going to come back 10 yards, and that's going to hurt. The football is going to be placed at the 18-yard line, and it'll be second and goal from the 18.
You know, it's interesting about taking the points and analytics. We talked about it here. If they don't get it, they kick it, and they're only down by 4. Had they kicked it earlier, they'll be only down by 1, and then have a chance to win it with a field goal.
Might be a pass here. Faison and Mitchell lined up along the left side. Poole in motion. Adams has it, thinking about keeping it. He does. He cuts back down to the 12-yard line. So it'll bring forth a third and goal. Meeting him there is Mike Sherrill. On the defensive side, Michael Sherrill out of Miami, Florida. He's the senior.
Good coverage partner by the Central State secondary. They also stayed home. Adams did a good job tucking it and running and getting as far as he could. But great job in that secondary by the Marauders, as no one was open. And Adams made the right decision by tucking it and running and get as far as he could get.
Braylon Fowler in the game at tight end now. Let's see if they try to go to him on a third down and goal. From the 12, Adams gets the football. He wants to run, but he's going to be corralled by Mike White. There he is, folks. 6 tackles for loss in this game last year, including 5 sacks. Comes up with a huge play there.
That was a straight-up draw. There was no question Adams had no interest in throwing the pass here. Mike White sniffed it out and brought him down for 4th down. And now a field goal attempt to try to cut this thing within 4, it'll be a 30-yarder.
Well, partner, you called it. You said you would take the points, seeing how both of these defenses really are playing quite well in this contest. Only a total of 13 points scored in the game. It'll be a 30-yard field goal attempt by Jimmy Mai. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is going to be deflected. There's another block. This Central State Marauders team, they pride themselves on special teams blocks, and they did it once again. They had a punt block last week against Southern, and they come up with a field goal block against Savannah State.
And guess who? I believe it's Jalil Lenore here on the block.
Yes, he's the first person that raises his hands. I got to tell you.
No, I'd like to see it again. I couldn't tell. We'll have to take a look at it again. I thought it was Lenore, but it might not have been.
Well, listen, I can still speak on Lenore as we get a look at this replay here. Jalil Lenore, he's always talking about keeping his teammates' head ups, and he wants to be a motivator and being a leader. Wants to shout out his parents, Beverly Lenore and Brandon Lenore. Only reason why I say it's him because he's jumped up and leaped up. We'll get an official on who blocked that particular field goal attempt. But you got to take your hats off to this Central State squad. And we talked to Coach Kevin Porter about his special teams. And remember, last year they were like 4th in the nation on blocks. On blocks.
What a time to get one. I don't think it was Lenore. Like I said, we don't have, you mentioned earlier, kind of hard to tell from the scoreboard from where we are who got a piece of that football. But what a huge, huge play by the Marauders special teams to keep it a 7-point game. You know what? If Savannah State scores a touchdown and they have a chance to win it, potentially, I'm looking ahead, obviously, do they go for the 2 or do they kick the extra point and play for overtime? We'll see. That's down the line. But for Central State now, you block the kick. It's up to your offensive line, the big uglies up front, to take that ball, chew some yards, run some clock, and put away this game and try to salt it away. And don't give Savannah State another shot at it.
And here's what I'm amazed at. I'm amazed that Kevin Porter and this Central State team, they make this like a part of their program. Like blocking kicks is like they use it as a weapon. And he gives credit to defensive coordinator Corey Stone for making that come alive on special teams.
Well, as Keith Jackson used to say, special teams, special teams, special teams. And they were huge there from the Marauders. And let's see what they do with it. Let's see if they just decide to go ahead and run it right down their throat, or do they do a play-action pass on first down and try to go for the long ball?
7 minutes and 33 seconds to play in regulation. The Central State offense, they have the football. Their offensive coordinator, Anthony Armstrong, actually played for Coach Porter back in the day at Point. First down and 10 at the 20. Boney will hand the football off, running to the left for a short gain, if any. Leach may have gotten a yard, depending on the mark. A host of Savannah State Tigers there, but last one getting up was Tony Roundtree, the big defensive tackle who had a big sack earlier. Had a half a sack against Auburn last week. Not Auburn, excuse me, Southern.
That's all right. Kevin Porter, head coach in 2022, was 3-7. Last year, 5-5. He is building a program. He did it at Fort Valley State. He led the Wildcats to the 2016 SIAC championship and got them back in the championship game in 17.
Boney, quick hitter out to Leach. Leach trying the right side, but he's going to be corralled from behind. First person to get him, Tavari Bruton, the linebacker, who was the top tackler last year for this football program.
Excellent pursuit by Bruton there. Now it's going to be 3rd and long. Does Central State run the ball here and try to milk that clock, or do they go for it and try to get a first down? I'm Central State. You need a first down here. You don't want to get conservative and have to rely on your defense to hold them in a potential short field.
Football marked at the 25-yard line. It's 3rd down and 5. Near wide receivers, twin wide receivers to the near side of the football field. Terrell Heath, the wide man. Brock up top for Central State. Boney waiting for the snap. He'll receive it. Boney in the pocket. Steps up. Wants to run. He does run. He takes off. 30, 35-yard line. Enough for a first down.
Excellent play by Kendall Boney. He saw nobody was there. He used his legs. He tucked it and ran it for a first down. Watch it here. Nobody's open. He stepped up in the pocket, saw the lane to run the football, and got a first down. And now you're going to see Central State, and wait for Boney to tuck that ball in too so he didn't turn it over. You're going to see Central State now run the play clock. Get it down within 5 seconds before they snap the ball. Shorten the game. See, Boney was acting like he was going to run a play, and then he faked it, held on, and now you're going to see that ball snapped inside of 5 every time.
Drayshawn Dawkins, first time we've called his name tonight on that last tackle. After the 12-yard carry, here comes Leach, right side, up to the 45, now past midfield. So sizable gain there, call it a gain of 14 yards.
Just a great job by the right side of that offensive line for Central State. A nice, hard charging run by Leach. And I tell you what, he is just a hard charger. He sees the hole. There's nothing fancy about him. Sticks his hat in there and gets as far as he can get.
Boney now waiting for the snap on 1st and 10 at the Savannah State 49-yard line. Time is becoming of the essence. 4:19 and ticking. And they're going to try to use every drop of this play clock. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. There's the snap. Leach once again finding running room in the hole as he goes behind that right side of that Marauders offensive line. Clearing up spaces, Harris and Mensah on that left side of the line. And now we've got a whistle. Do we have an injured player? Both teams are slow to get up. I believe they're calling for a trainer. Yes, they are. They are calling for a trainer as we get an injured player on the play. Mensah Harrison was the injured player.
That's correct.
So after the sequence, 2nd down now and 6 after the 4-yard gain.
Well, there's only one timeout left for Savannah State. So look for them to snap the ball with 3 seconds or less now.
3 seconds as it is. 8, 5, 4, 3. There is the snap. Boney, right side, tried to get it to Leach, but out past his outstretched arms, incomplete. That was actually intended for Zay Bryce.
I'm surprised Central State threw the ball there. I thought they would keep running it, keep milking the timeout. The incompletion now stops the clock, and it's 3rd and a long 6. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Maybe a quarterback draw, something safe, make Savannah State use its final timeout, and if you have to, at worst, punt the football.
I think you got to run the football, perhaps give it to Zay Price because you don't want to throw and risk an incomplete pass.
Right.
Price waiting, and yes, they hand it to Price. Now it's a reverse. Coming back is Cadet. Cadet, right side, first down yardage. Does he get it, depending on the mark? And he does. Oh, my. They went to the cabinet, and they dish out a first down.
We mentioned it earlier. Here's the reverse. Here it is, a double reverse, getting Savannah State to over-pursue. And you see Cadet there just kept his hand on the turf, which allowed him to get the first down.
Wow.
Good job by Cadet. His hand on the turf kept him from having his knee hit the turf and falling short of the first down.
New stack of downs with 2:37 to play. Football at the Savannah State 39-yard line. Boney will hand to Dunford. Dunford gets his first carry of the afternoon, or of the evening, I should say, and he will barrel ahead down to the 38-yard line.
Boy, that's a load there, number 44.
Amir Phillips gets credit for that tackle as the clock at 2:12. Let's see if there's a timeout called.
Yep, it is. They have none left, and they had to do it. They had to call a timeout there. Now the defense has to stop them here, partner. Another first down, and the game's over.
Well, they'll actually get another timeout at the 2-minute warning because there have been changes in the NCAA in football where the clock will stop at 2 minutes. So, in essence, it's a 2-minute warning.
Right, in essence it is, but you're right. The 2-minute warning allows the extra timeout. I think that's huge in this circumstance. But if Central State gets a first down, the game's over.
But if they don't get a first down, it'll bring up a third down situation, and the clock will stop at 2 minutes. So realistically, they could get the football back.
Right, but not with a lot of time left. So if Central State gets one more first down, it's basically over. Now, here's the thing. Central State's going to run the ball here. I'd be shocked if they put it in the air. They're going to run the ball, chew some clock, and at worst, which is not a bad thing here, is punt and pin them deep and make them go the length of the field with little time left. I would be absolutely floored if they threw the football here. I wonder if they do a read option here with Boney.
Boney back to pass on second down. Far side, it's going to be complete there to Thompson. Thompson will gain just a yard. Second reception for him. And third down, and that'll bring us to our 2-minute warning. So there's going to be a break in the action. In essence, it's a timeout Savannah State. That's why they called timeout before. So now it brings up that third down situation that I talked about before. So there's a timeout on the field. When we come back, we'll have the balance of this one with our score, Savannah State trailing by 7, 10-3. Let's take timeout. All right, so as we return to action, this will be a big play in this sequence here. Third down and 8 for Central State. They're trying to put this one on ice. They're at the 37-yard line of Savannah State. Boney waiting in shotgun formation. He'll roll out to his right. He's under pressure. He'll circle back to the left. Now he'll go back to the right, and he will wisely throw the football out of bounds. Don't know why he would throw it out of bounds instead of just taking the sack.
I don't know why he just didn't take a knee or run out of bounds. If he takes a knee, he's down, and the clock keeps rolling.
Absolutely.
Now the clock stopped. I'm shocked again that they threw the football. I understand why they did it. It was a safe short pass last play, but had it been incomplete, there would have been 2 and 3 left on the clock, and they would have had an extra timeout.
Now, but once he realized that he wasn't going to go anywhere, he should have just taken the sack and fell down because the clock would still run.
That's right. And now with an incomplete pass, it gives Savannah State a real gift. And they may come after the punter again here because they have several times they came close to blocking Chair's punt. You're Savannah State, you got to try to block it because you're not going to get great field position unless you get a miraculous return for a touchdown. You have got to try to block this kick, and maybe you can pick it up, get an easy score. Or you'll at least get great field position. I am just shocked that Central State did not run the football there. It would have taken another, 40 seconds off the clock? We would have had just a little over a minute left in the game.
Well, first things first, they are lined up to punt. Jose Chairs is set to punt. The long snapper in this situation is Kenny Carasquillo. He's the multi-sport athlete who was actually a wrestling champion in states and districts down in Orlando. He was a champion down there. There's the punt, high, and it's taken there by Faison from the 7, and Faison is going to run that football. They're going to mark it at the 21-yard line.
Great pooch punt. If the coverage was excellent there, he would have been down at the 10 or 11-yard line. Instead, it gives Savannah State a precious 11 yards, and they're going to need every yard. Now they've got to go 79 yards in about a minute and 40 to tie this game.
And so, partner, once again, there's plenty of time for them to take the football down the field.
Right. I mean, if you had ran the ball on third down, they had no timeouts, it would have been a huge difference in the clock. It would have been a minute or less to play in the game, and now you give them 1 and 41. And if you're Central State defensively, do not let anybody get behind you, and do not let Adams get to the outside because he had an 81-yarder against Southern last week.
First down and 10.
Can fly.
First down and 10 from the 21. Adams will throw, complete to Colbert. They're going to whistle the play down, and there's going to be a flag down. It may be an offensive illegal procedure against the offense.
That's exactly what it is, and Central State's like, yes, we'll take that penalty every day of the week and twice on Saturday.
The center judge, James Crowell, immediately threw his flag. James Crowell, interestingly enough, the center judge, James Crowell is a 25-year Army veteran who recently retired. So they're going to ask Roderick Wright, our game clock operator, to put 1 minute and 41 seconds back on the clock. So here we go. First down and 15 from the 16 for Savannah State. Adams has the football. He's in the pocket. He steps up. He rolls right, and he wisely throws the football away.
You see the defense, the DBs and the linebackers, they're all dropping back 10 to 15 yards plus in coverage. They don't want anything over the top to beat them deep. Keep the play in front of you if you're Central State and rush 4.
Carlos Carter was in hot pursuit of him. Carlos Carter from the Washington, D.C. area, Todd, he has a foundation. He has an NIL deal.
Really?
Yeah, with his dad, John Carter, and they fight against gun violence. They do a lot of charity work. They raise money, and he has a mentor program. So shouts out to Carlos. Adams is going to be swarmed under.
And guess who's there?
Chaz Hunter.
Wow, who could see that coming? So, you know what? Bless them for doing what they're doing off the field.
That will go down as a sack for Chaz Hunter.
Wow, so now it's 3rd and forever, and you'll see Central State, they're only going to rush 3 here.
Second sack of the season there for Chaz. That pass is complete on the near side of the football field. It'll go on the books as a 6-yard pass play. but it brings up 4th down and 12.
And you have to have it here. The game's over. You're going to see Central State still, they'll give them anything. They'll give them the short stuff, but nothing deep. They'll let them catch the ball and tackle them. Nothing over the top.
We're under a minute to play, 58 seconds to be exact. 4 wide receivers in the game, trips to the top on a 4th down and 12. This is for the game right now. 4th down and 12 from the 19. Adams has it. He looks, he throws. It's going to be picked off. Picked off. Buskin comes up with his 2nd interception of the game.
I'm not sure what Adams was thinking there. He just telegraphed this football right into Buskin's hands. They didn't even throw the ball far enough to even get a potential 1st down. The play had no chance. You've got to go downfield.
Devon Buskin comes up.
Okay, it was a penalty on Central State for excessive celebration.
So Devon Buskin comes up with his 2nd interception of the season, 2nd interception of the game, and that one, ladies and gentlemen, will put it on ice.
And it will move Central State to 1-0. And now they've won 5 consecutive conference games, dating to the 4 in a row that they won at the end of the year last year. And you know what? Coach Porter, he said it. We got to continue. We got to take what we did at the end of last year and apply it to this year in conference play. And they have done it. They're going to get out of here with a win. And Savannah State, oh so close, but they're going to fall short.
Victory formation now with 52 seconds. There's the snap, and Boney will take a knee at the 41-yard line. Wow, so how about it? Kendall Boney does it again, starting quarterback for this Central State Marauders. We talked about how he's been taking care of the football. I talked to him before the game. He just said, hey, look, I just want to do my job and secure the football. So I know his mom, Angela Williams, who are watching, and Terrence Bolton, who are taking the game in. I'm sure they're proud of this young man.
He doesn't
17,
turn the ball over.
Nope,
You're
16, right. 15, 14. And they don't have to run another play.
Nope,
There's 21 seconds left on the play clock. You just don't do anything. 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the ball game. With the final score, Central State 10, Savannah State 3. With the victory, Central State, they improved to 1-2 on this season, while Savannah State drops to 0-2. Any final comments, partner?
More importantly, they move 1-0 to conference play. Coach Porter said the non-conference is the preseason. This is the regular season, and now they're 1-0, and that's one step closer to the goal to try to win a conference championship. In order for Central State to do that, they've got to get better offensively, and we'll see if they can do that starting next week. For Savannah State, they've got a lot of work to do offensively. You saw them make progress in the second half, but you've got to be able to throw it downfield to keep the defense honest, and they really didn't do that, and that's why Central State was able to come away with the game, with a win.
Quick recap, Central State jumped up to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter thanks to a 23-yard touchdown pass. Bossy to Brooks, the halfback option pass. Then Jose Chairs kicked a 41-yard field goal to make the score, a 17-yard field goal to make the score 10-0. And then Savannah State, they answered with their only points of the game, a 41-yard field goal by Jimmy Mai that made the score 10-3 in the third quarter. So with the final score, Central State 10, Savannah State 3. Just a reminder that all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. For my partner, Todd Quarter, and producer Roosevelt, and cameras Lauren, Dylan, and Travis, I'm Dwayne Walker bidding you a pleasant good evening from Savannah, Georgia. This has been a presentation of the SIAC on ESPN+.